see it on the, on the blue lights.
All right.
All right. So, welcome Ian to the show. Before we start, I have 3 questions for you. I'm gonna pick one random here. The first one is, if you would do sports, would you prefer, well, you do sports, but do you prefer like having a nice body or like being good at what you do? Or a combination of both?
It's an interesting question. I think that the whole purpose of this, a general sport or a very specific sport, is being good at what you are doing.
Yeah.
So if I was playing a specific sport, I'd like to be very good at that sport.
All right, perfect. Then the next one. How much times a week do you eat something unhealthy, like pizza, like a real cheat meal?
I'm not that much into like, you know, all the extremely disciplined eating.
Yeah.
But you know, I do eat some happy meals.
Like the McDonald's happy meals?
Yeah,
Really?
something like this. You know, once or twice a week.
Okay, sure. And then the last one. Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Okay, Coke. That's a very easy one for you. All right. So, done with the questioning. So everyone, Ian here on the show. Ian is the owner of the shop of Vivo Barefoot Brussels. He's been here since November. Yeah, Ian, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure.
So my name is Ian, and I started the store in November.
Yeah.
And the whole reason why it came about is that I wanted to bring to Belgium the benefits of barefoot shoes. I discovered these shoes 3 years ago through many different experimentations.
Yes.
Because I always found that something was wrong in the shoes.
Okay.
When I was running, when I was doing sports, something would always feel bad.
Yeah.
You know, my knees would hurt, my legs would hurt, my backs would hurt.
Yeah.
And I said, well, is it my technique or not? And then I started researching on, you know, what could be wrong. Until I started experimenting on shoes.
Okay.
And after a lot of research, I found out that you know, alleviating the pains that I experience when running and doing a lot with the sport could be as simple as putting on a different shoe.
Yeah.
And so I tried many different brands. You know, just to name a few, you know, all the Nikes, the Merrells, of course, Vivo Barefoot.
Yes.
And then I found Vivo Barefoot and also Five Fingers, Vibrams. And I found Vivo Barefoot to be the most agreeable to me.
Okay.
And then after quite, you know, a time wearing them, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. And then you enjoyed it so much that you opened your own store?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I said, you know.
These are the ones, by the way,
with a V
line. I'll put them here. All right, very nice. And so, how long have you been running for yourself?
Well, I've been interested in running ever since I was very young.
Yeah.
And I'm not a very hardcore runner, let me say. But I do run for fun.
Okay.
And I do a lot of sports, so I'm a fan of movement.
Okay.
I'm a fan of natural movement.
Yes,
you know.
and then you're perfect for Vivo Barefoot, because that's also like one of their things, right? Move naturally, and like you see these kind of things here, nature pictures.
Yeah.
It's like one running, but one also not running.
Exactly.
So I think that's a big principle of Vivo Barefoot.
Yes, because it's you know, it's although we are very much into running and trail running and stuff.
Yes.
The entire Vivo Barefoot lineup is actually starting, you know, lifestyle. Lifestyle is a big part of it, but not just that. It's also kids, men, and women.
That's one thing I didn't know about Vivo Barefoot. Like you can see some kids' shoes over there. You can see some like normal, how would you say it, casual dress shoes for like casual occasions, not sports. I didn't know you even had those.
Yeah.
But because most people probably know these from trainers and people running.
Yeah,
use them.
indeed.
And yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about how like the shoes built in
Yes.
general?
So the entire principle, you know, with your so the principle of Vivo Barefoot is that your feet are like your hands.
Yes.
There are 200,000 nerve endings in your hands, and they are the same as your feet.
Okay.
And you know the articulation that you do with your hands is the same thing that you should be able to do with your feet. You know, when you curl your toes, open your toes, you know, close and open the fingers.
Yes.
You have that same number of joints.
Okay.
So the shoe is designed such that even if you have a cover for your feet, you can still move.
It's very flexible shoe. If you do that with a Nike, you'll probably break your wrist or something.
Possibly, but I mean, it has so many advantages. Of course, you know the entire philosophy as well is that it gets out of your way.
Yeah.
But it does protect you from the minimum, you know, temperature,
stuff like that. Temperature, of course.
Sharp objects from penetrating your foot.
You don't want that.
And this sole is actually patented. It has about, I think it's 5 times more puncture resistance than any sole of its equivalent thickness.
Oh, so you mean so if I wanted to like put a nail in it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it?
Maybe you could at one point in
very
time,
hard, yeah.
but much stronger than any standard
Oh,
sole.
wow, I didn't know that.
And that's why it can give you a lot of feeling.
Yes.
But at the same time still being
Still very strong.
Yeah.
What material is it?
It's a mixture of many different compounds.
Oh, okay.
As well, but yes, it's the whole principle is thin.
Yes.
It's light, it's wide, and it's flexible.
Yes. Yeah, it's quite wide. I haven't noticed it. Yeah.
Because then you know your feet can actually move inside.
Okay. So one thing you probably hear a lot is like, well, I have bad feet, I have bad ankles. I can't use one of these shoes because I'm not, my foot joint is like over arched or over pronated, over supined. What would you say to those people? Can they get one of these shoes or?
Definitely. So they can actually get into these shoes, but it is quite important that they take it easy.
Okay.
We're now calling this period kind of a Barefoot Revolution number 2.
Okay.
The first revolution, what we call it, was like, you know, when Vibrams were coming up, and it was really, you know, a lot of people's consciousness, and they were very excited to have it because suddenly their feet is free, but they overdid it.
With the loose toes and
they overdid it because they wanted to do so much at a short period of time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
they were too far ahead of their time, something like that.
Yes.
Too far
too soon.
The jump, yeah.
If you think about it, you know, you're imagine putting a glove on your hand and keeping it there for 15, 20, 30 years.
Yes.
And suddenly you remove it and you find out that you can do so many things with it. You can play the piano, you can write, and all sorts of stuff. And you want to do that in 1, 2, 3 days, 3 weeks. You don't have all the muscles. The muscles have atrophied.
Yes.
But then, you know, people wanted to do so many things. That's why they got hurt. So if you take it easy, even if you're overpronating, you know, you have bad ankles, if you take the time to strengthen your muscles to bring them back, you can do it.
Okay.
Now there is a small percentage of people that cannot, and with those, you know, they will have to use special shoes.
Okay. Yeah.
Now special shoes are of course not foreign, because we use special shoes for ice skating, for skiing, all those special sports as well, where we actually need much more support in order to do that sport well.
Okay, so you don't have a specific like basketball shoe, soccer shoe, ice hockey shoe. You don't have that yet, or do you?
No, we
Just
don't.
outdoor, no.
Just it's really lifestyle and general movement, running, and all those stuff. But yeah, you can argue you could do something similar with those.
If you would have someone who has been running in like very strict traditional shoes and who now wants to make the transition, how would you advise that person to make that transition? Because I can imagine if you do too much, too fast, too soon, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt, definitely.
Yeah.
And the best way to get started is to get a shoe you can wear every day.
Okay.
So if you can have, you can get a shoe that you can wear, to work. You can walk a long distance with, the
like
whole
more
day.
casual shoes.
More casual shoes. That will prepare your feet to be stronger, because the same muscles that you use to run barefoot is the same muscles you use to walk. A little bit lesser intense. So they start with something they can wear every day for long.
Yes.
And then they can start to run after a while. Short distances, lesser intensity,
build it up.
and build it up. As a rule of thumb, it's different for many different people. But typically we say, allocate about 12 to 14 months so that you can rebuild your muscles and get ready for a longer run.
I like that as an answer, because some people they'll say, no, it only takes like a few weeks and you'll be fine. But at least you say like it takes time, and you don't give any false hopes and promises. And to rebuild something and use muscles you haven't used before, it takes a while. And that I can definitely imagine.
And it's you don't actually need to convert 100% into the barefoot shoes.
No.
Just to have it in as part of your lifestyle is already going to help you. It's better than nothing.
Yes.
And some people use the barefoot shoes for different occasions, but still use their normal shoes in other circumstances. And that's perfectly all right as well. It doesn't need to be, a hard and fast, this or that. No.
Okay, nice. You also gave a workshop on running in CrossFit Leuven and probably some other places as well. Do you give a lot of advice on that as well, or is it is that part of the Vivo Barefoot thing as well?
Yes, actually the concept store is not just a shoe store, and that's why we had the time at CrossFit Leuven to do post running, but anything that is health related is part of the program of the store.
Okay.
So we do indeed running workshops. In the future, we hope to have a lot of other wellness activities like yoga and Pilates or
those kind of shoes.
Even Tai Chi outside. Sometimes you need it as well. And the store is set up for that.
Yes.
So we do have.
You can see here you have all kinds of we're sitting on them as well.
Yes, and
all
we do have a space as well upstairs.
Yes.
Which is a functional area where we review running techniques.
Okay.
And people would come here and then say, I want to get started with running. We can actually give a bit of advice to start with. So at least they take the shoes and they go run outside safely with the essential information. If they want to take it further, then we can have special classes dedicated for it.
Okay. Because the post running is something that takes quite a lot of time, I think. I'm a personal trainer. I run a few times a week, and I did the workshop, and I was sore for nearly a month, like here in the knee area, like because I'm putting my knee much higher than like bending the knee much more than I used to do. Yeah, that hurt, and I guess that takes quite a lot of time as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Like for me, from my own personal experience, it took me about 6 months of on and off wearing the shoes and exchanging it with my normal ones.
Yeah.
To start wearing it 100%, just for work and casual activities. Then running is of course a completely different setup.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I guess we covered a lot of ground there. Is there something else you want to like add to it or say to people who are not convinced of Vivo Barefoot yet?
Well, I would encourage them to try. Encourage everybody to try it at least once.
Okay.
For me, if every Belgian or nearby countries as well would just take one shoe, just one shoe, and just try them out for themselves, I would be extremely happy. Because
extremely busy as well.
And
extremely in Belgium right now.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, the dream is to make it bigger, because the benefits will actually also extend to many people, and that's really what I want to do. Is to bring healthy feet to as many people as I can.
Okay, that's a very nice end quote there. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right.